Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and let me tell you something. I am listening to all these people talking about the crypto market pullback, and they're trying to reference it in terms of Bitcoin and whether we're entering a crypto winter and all this. If the people that are talking like that don't understand what's going on, in my opinion. This is not just about Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you've been following this whole SEC versus Ripple case, Bitcoin and Ethereum and what they are doing is all based on this false regulatory clarity that they were given through, in my opinion, nefarious ways back 3 years ago. Everything that this market is today is literally built up on one huge mountain of a lie. And so even the idea that everything's following Bitcoin to this day is a lie. The market that you see is not a free crypto market. I believe this tweet right here captures what I think. This guy, Hassan Alonzi, I love his tweets. He almost talks like he knows something. Neither Bitcoin nor Ethereum, it is the clarity of XRP that will save the market. And then this reply is on it too. Indeed, the lawsuit against Ripple will give clarity to the whole crypto space in the US and therefore the rest of the world. XRP might spark the next bull run. I think XRP does spark the next bull run. But remember, the people that are talking about this bull run and have been talking about this bull run, they've talked about it, and XRP and some of the others are lumped in as if they've gotten to participate in the bull run. They didn't get to participate in anything. In fact, XRP hasn't gotten to participate in since Bitcoin and Ethereum were given clarity. XRP hasn't even begun to participate. If there was a level playing field created back 3 years ago, Bitcoin and Ethereum would be so far in XRP and XLM's dust, they wouldn't even know it hit them if those two had been given a level playing field. But my point in saying all this is, everybody's acting, the bull run could be over. There never was a bull run. There never was a level playing field. I believe that you're about to see this case resolved. I think like I said in my last video, I think the gig's up for the SEC. Assuming that this judge does the right thing and tells them to piss off. Now, when this happens, and XRP finally escapes this, and this thing is over, you hadn't even begun to see a bull run compared to what you will see then. And I believe XRP and XLM will lead it. That's what I think. But this talk of, the bull run never started for XRP. It was, in my opinion, intentionally put this albatross around the neck of XRP in 2020. These people knew there was going to be a bull run coming. I believe it was intentional. I believe, like John Deaton says, it was used as a weapon. Well, XRP is the only digital asset that had a gun to its head during the whole, quote, bull run, okay? So I think that the stage is set for the entire landscape, this entire falsehood of Bitcoin and Ethereum leading the way, I believe, could be flipped on its head. Because make no mistake, the entire crypto, and look, the people in XRP are the only ones that have been telling the truth about it. All these Bitcoin maxis, all of this has been dishonest. This entire market has been dishonest. I believe the script is about to flip. I can smell it. All right, now, so great tweet here. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. This guy ran Goldman Sachs, and I remember because I was covering him back in 2018 while he was talking, I don't get this crypto thing. Meanwhile, they were all investing in it. But he was talking about how he just didn't get it. Well, this is Lloyd Blankfein, who ran Goldman Sachs. You think he knows a few things? Listen to what he says about
Lloyd,
crypto.
I know we've talked about crypto with you over the years, and you've been, let's just say, politely skeptical. Does the turn in crypto, even over the past couple of months or at least weeks, change your view? Is there, a lot of banks, obviously, traditional banks are now making crypto available in ways that they weren't before. How are we all going to look back at this 5 years from now?
Look, my view of it is evolving, not as an intellectual. Look, I remember when they were, a couple of decades ago, maybe 30 years ago, maybe more, they were auctioning off auctioning off bandwidth for cell phones. And I'm thinking to myself, why would anybody want to carry around a phone? I mean, there's tens of thousands of phone booths all around the country. Why would anyone carry a phone? At that time, they were like backpacks. And I thought that was, well, guess what? That worked. The point I take is, I don't know. I'm bad at, I can't predict the future, but I think it's a big thing to be able to predict the present, like what is happening. And I look at the crypto, and it is happening. And so again, as an intellectual matter, I can't think differently about it, but as a pragmatist and as somebody who's skeptical not only of the market, but skeptical of my own views and trying to get on board and acknowledge things that I don't know everything, and strange things that I think are strange actually happen. I'd say at the point now, it's lost a lot of value, but at the point where it's trillions of dollars of value contributing to it and the whole ecosystems are growing around it. And of course, we have the benefits of instantaneous transfer, and so reduction of credit risk and all the benefits of blockchain that a million people come on your show and talk about. I'm, I may be skeptical, but I'm also pragmatic about it. And so guess what? I certainly want to have an oar in that water.
Let me translate for you. My buddies at Goldman Sachs have told me this is going down. So if you don't want to listen to anybody, listen to what he just said. So this thing is going down. It's just a matter of whether you want to invest, the way I invest, and I can't tell other people how to invest. That's not what this is about, because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a digital asset investor. But I can tell you what I do when things go down like they have is one of two things. I'm either buying the dips, or I just don't look at it while it's doing it. It doesn't do you any good to stare at these markets when it goes down like that. But what I've learned is right about the time you think things are going to get nasty, all of a sudden it gets good. So we'll see what happens. But then Blockworks had put this out. The biggest companies are hiring for crypto: Reddit, Visa, JP Morgan, Nike, and a lot more. A thread on what they're hiring for. But anyway, I'm not going to go into the whole thread. I just wanted to point that out to you. These people, they're not pouring all this money into this for nothing. Like Blankfein just said, it's happening. All right. Nick Burafado from Link2 had tweeted two good tweets here. Eat Just Eat is the name of a company just now available on Link2 platform, is making news. Download the Link2 app. It was on CNBC. These guys are actually doing, they actually create a new kind of meat in a lab, is my understanding. He also did this tweet. Now, this is important because a lot of people don't understand this about Link2. He says, notice to non-U.S. investors, you must meet accredited investor requirements of your country, not the U.S., and those qualifications may be easier or in rare cases non-existent. Research your requirements before you count yourself out. In other words, if let's say you're in England, I don't know what your accredited investor laws are. You may not have an accredited investor law. I don't know. If you don't, you can go invest on Link2 from England now. or if you're in a country that doesn't have restrictions on allowing a person to invest in private equity, you can go and invest there now. You don't have to be the United States version of accredited, and I didn't even realize that a while back, but it was brought to my attention. And by the way, on Link 2, they just now added more Ripple. It was fully subscribed earlier this morning. And here's that Mr. B or Nick Burafado is talking about. All right, a reminder, American crypto innovation has been under siege for 399 days, 12 hours, 5 minutes, 14 seconds, 15, 16. And then the web of corruption, they've still got this on procoinnews.com where you can click on this and retweet that. All right, I tweeted this today. What if Bill Hinman became an SEC whistleblower? The SEC and their attorneys have thrown him to the wolves, and nobody else at the SEC seems to want to blow the whistle, and I copied Hester Pearson. James Phelan had put this out today. Ripple defendants have filed an objection to the SEC's request for additional time to file a motion for reconsideration of Judge Netburn's DPP ruling. John Deaton had retweeted it too, and he says, on May 6, 2021, the judge ruled SEC must turn over certain documents. The SEC fought it. She ruled a second time. The SEC invoked privilege. Although the judge ruled the vast majority of documents are privileged, the SEC objects to turning over any documents. Ripple's response. And then this is Ripple's response, and I wanted to read to you this part down here. It says, what's more, the SEC apparently intends to argue, contrary to its repeated assertions and sworn statements, that Director Bill Hinman's June 2018 speech represented only his personal views. And then it goes on that Entry 9 and similar documents were an essential link in the SEC's deliberative process with respect to Ether and other digital assets. This is a reversal of the SEC's litigation position to date. Before the court's order, the SEC argued that these documents were protected by the deliberative process privilege because they reflected internal agency communications on what Director Hinman's June 2018 speech should say. In other words, they want to say out of one side of their mouth that it's Bill Hinman's personal opinion, and out of the other side of their mouths, they want to act like these are important internal interagency communications. That's because they, no matter what, I'm telling you, they can't let anybody ever see those communications. They can't. And that is a more bullish thing than anything. Now, you want me to show you part of the reason why they can't? This is Joseph Lubin. He's on the same stage that Bill Hinman was on when he gave the speech. And Joseph Lubin is reacting to the Bill Hinman speech. And while you're watching this, remember, this guy was meeting with Bill Hinman behind the scenes. And on this stage, he acts like, oh, I don't know. I hadn't really had a chance. Listen to this. Let me refresh this real quick. He's on the stage like literally, I think it's a couple hours after Hinman speaks.
Okay, so I want to get your quick answers to a few things before we get to a final round of questions. What do you think's going to happen to Ripple with this new ruling?
I don't know the answer to that. I wasn't able to read through Bill's entire speech, and I wasn't here. I don't know if he
grabs his arm because that's his tail.
If he spoke about XRPs at all.
He didn't specifically mention anything about it.
So that's interesting.
So yeah, I mean, the fact that he named two other things but didn't name that.
Man, I'm telling you, this guy right here was meeting with these people and is playing dumb right here and acts like he doesn't know anything about it. They cannot, the SEC cannot let any of us ever see what went on in that little communication. I will bet you they can't. And for that reason, it's the most bullish thing. The market may be going down, but you're listening to one guy who is mega bullish on XRP and XLM. XLM follows, always does. Now, this is interesting. Catherine Coley used to work at Ripple. Then she went to Binance US. She was the CEO. Then there was a big controversy where she gets let go and Brian Brooks comes in as the CEO. And nobody's heard from Catherine Coley since. There's a mystery disappearance. And she is, this article was done on the Coin Telegraph about it. And it's just bizarre, this whole thing. So I just thought I'd mention it. Now, this happened to come up in a search today when I was looking around. This is I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. Emi Yoshikawa. She is corporate strategy and operations at Ripple. She's from Japan, is my understanding. But, we talk about the SEC versus Ripple case all the time. But I just saw this and I was like, I just want to remind you, first of all, I want to remind you about Japan, SBI. But second, Ripple is global. XRP is global. Both of these two things are not going anywhere. The SEC can't do a thing to what's going on over in Europe or in Japan or wherever about XRP or Ripple. This train's going down the tracks. Gary Gensler's just a minor slowdown along the way. But listen to this. Listen to what she says they're doing in Japan.
So now,
by the way, this is from July of 2018.
So now, what we are doing in Japan is we created a consortium of more than 50 banks to come together to develop a completely new payments platform or infrastructure powered by Ripple's distributed ledger technology, which basically replaced the existing domestic payments system called the Zenkin system. It also can be applied for cross-border payments as well.
And that contrasts with Zelle, which is a fantastic enterprise.
Exactly.
It's built on the existing rails.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
So there you have it, 50 banks, okay? Now this is an interesting clip that Digital Perspectives had put up. This is Zach Rector and Real Reaper CEO discussing XRP government buyback. Listen to this.
Right. But my point being is that there's not 30 billion XRP for the banks and financial institutions to run payment networks, settlement layer now. And there's not going to be until people offload their XRP and then they're able to accumulate it and start using it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, and I mean, that is where the buyback theory comes in, is it does have merit and it has constitutional precedence. It has legal precedence with the previous executive orders. So I think that it's a totally possible potential scenario that there would be a buyback. But like I said, I think that, the government being the government, they're going to be stingy and they're going to try to get it at a lower price. So naturally, if they bought up through $100, through a few $100s, they're going to be able to absorb the large majority of that at a much lower price.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you think that they're going to try to force us into that buyback, or are they going to just try to make the deal good enough?
Well, if we're looking at the previous executive order for gold, there was criminal penalties and financial penalties to hold and or trade gold. Given that XRP is a open blockchain ledger, it would be relatively easy for the government to trace and find out if somebody had previously done that. So if they did.
Well, if you were a betting man, what is your percentage chance that you think a buyback actually happens?
55.
Okay, does it just slightly better?
55%. Well, look, I know a lot of people think that the buyback thing is crazy talk, and maybe it is. But here's what, and a lot of people really thought that Jimmy Value was crazy and throwing out a $30-something thousand XRP number. But I don't think that that's what he was doing. I think that he was literally trying to put on the legal record the fact that he had offered them this $37,000 or whatever the figure was. I don't remember what it was. But I think that he was just what he was doing is he was trying to put it on record that he had reached out to these people. I think it was a legal thing that he was doing. This is just me talking. I'm guessing. I think it was a legal thing that he was doing. But just in case down the road, it was requested that you turn it in at, let's say that it was requested that you turn in your XRP. Let's say that they decided that XRP was going to be used by the financial system, and it was going to be it's going to be the equivalent of the next Federal Reserve. And they asked, okay, this is going to be used, and therefore it can't be owned by individuals. It's got to be used by at the institutional level. And so you need to turn yours in. We're going to offer you a generous price today. Today's price is 50 cents, and we're going to give you $20 to $30. Okay, and most people would just do that. And I think Jimmy Valley's thing was for the people that would say, no, I think that once you guys actually start using it, that price is going to be much higher than $20 or $30, and I don't want to give it back to you. And I think that they wanted to be able to point to that. So look, we offered to sell it to you at this price, and now you're trying to pull some. I think that, and I'm not an attorney, I'm just saying, I think my gut tells me that's what it was about. And I haven't talked to Jimmy Valley about that. That's me thinking out loud. Okay. Bank of America says issuing a U.S. CBDC would preserve the dollar's status as the world's reserve currency. There you go. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that I would take $35,000 for my each XRP. I would accept that. Thanks for listening.